Patience, cause you never run straight. This is for the record, but going down history in the making. First it was Elijah Muhammad, now we the honorable black prophet. We been in our bag and out of our feelings, securing all the profit. And going outside, don't know what you hearing, so miss me with that gossip. Staying sucker free from mob shit, let someone get out of pocket. Whoa, we come from different walks of life, but relate to the same cause. Fighting to live a fight, laid up behind them hospital walls. Stay focused like a face, but like syringes sharper than a knife. Take a cookie from the jar, grind it, wrap it in the raw. YBT will stay loyal, no damn miss a prop. Shots to my producers, King Jones.
Hi guys, how are you doing today? It's been, I guess, a week and a half or 2 weeks, and we missed you. Today we have our show planned. We're gonna talk about everyone's saying that summer is canceled, and I don't believe that. Mia doesn't believe that. We just have to get ready for something that we've never done before. And so today's show is going to be about alternative summers.
Or maybe some of these things you have done before. Like Jennifer said, we have a new way to celebrate. So, like she said, we're going to go into some ideas that you might want to jot down to do either by yourself or with your family, with your little ones, just to have a great time and make the best of this alternative summer. So, I like being outside, and one of the things that I love to do outside is find a comfortable spot and just find a good book to read. I know that sounds boring to some people, but if you find a good spot on the patio in the rocking chair, or if you find a good spot in the grass here and just sit down, be outside with nature, and just find a good book to get lost in, I think um, that is a stress relief as well, and time to enjoy the sun, vitamin D while you're reading.
Yeah, definitely need to get out and about and get some vitamin D and find ways to just relieve some of the stress, because I know, us being in the house, a lot of us with sickle cell are still not going outside, even though the governor may have reopened things. I know I don't really feel comfortable being out and about in the way that I would if it were just a regular non-coronavirus summer, you know. So we need to do things that bring about joy and help release some of the stress of being under, the same roof with your family, because sometimes you just need some alone time. And we want to do everything that we can do to prevent us from having stress related trigger for, preventing crises.
Right. I completely agree with that. And speaking of some stress free or trigger free fun, I would love to find like an inflatable kiddie pool and just get into it this summer since we really can't go swimming. That's another way of having fun this summer is find you an inflatable pool, especially if you have little kids. It doesn't even matter, big kids, 7 and 16. I'm gonna try to get her out here or at least have a water fight with her. So just kind of take it old school outside. And at least in the kiddie pool, you can measure the water temperature. Since you're doing your own pool, if it's too cold, don't make it too cold because y'all know how we do. But you can make it just right and it won't shock your body. You won't have to worry about jumping in a cold pool and getting sick or any of that. That's just another way I think is going to make this summer a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's so cool that you mentioned that because I was riding through my neighborhood, like right before school ended for the online learning, and I saw a lady in the neighborhood who had like a bunch of little kids, like stair steps, and they were all out playing in their little kiddie pool, and they were just so ecstatic. I was like, "This is what we have to get back to. We have to get back to like the grassroots, block party type days of celebrating summer because I mean, just because we're going through this coronavirus COVID-19 scare doesn't mean that we don't get to have fun.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and then you mentioned about getting back to or our roots. You remember we used to be outside all the time as kids, and from freeze tag to hide and seek, the Mother May I, like all games just came to mind when it came kickball. We used to go to summer camp like every year, even though we can't do summer camp this year. Technically, you can kind of make kickball work because you're supposed to be social
Distancing.
You can make that work if the bases, the bases are usually spread out good enough apart. So you can make that work. But that's just another way, of course, to have fun during this time and just go back to those freeze tag. I know the kids will love it. These kids aren't used to being outside. These are video gaming kids. So I think it'd be fun to get them outside and start playing some of these old school games and either introducing it to them or some haven't played in forever.
Right. And that's not just outdoors. You can bring your gaming indoors with board games. Monopoly has a million different ways to play it now. I saw like a millennial edition of Monopoly, which was I didn't get a chance to play it, but it was like it wasn't about the property buying. It was about like traveling and like how many places did you travel to, how many friends did you make or something. It was different. It was just a different version of Monopoly. And then they have like the fast Monopoly where you can just like use the hat as a banker. No one actually has to be the banker. The electronic bank. I mean, there's so many different ways. You would be surprised, like when you look up how many ways they have repackaged Monopoly, and that's doing stuff indoors because we do live in Georgia. It rains, so sometimes we need to figure out something we can do in the house to bring us joy and bring us closer together. So I know before I have mentioned carpool karaoke as a game that my family likes to play. It's hilarious. Like it's the most hilarious game ever. And we like doing karaoke. So this adds like a different spin on it, where you have to, sing it in the way like maybe sing a Whitney Houston song the way that Maroon 5 would sing it. Like just
Oh wow.
random it's random cards.
That's crazy. But
it is so funny.
Jennifer froze up. But some other some other games that you can play inside. I used to love Sorry.
Yeah, definitely love Sorry. Um, and I hope I'm not talking over you because now you're frozen on my screen. So I don't know what's going on here today. I guess it's the coronavirus messing with our Wi-Fi. So we have a bunch of different ideas about what we can do here to imagine a different summer. Mia has more tips about what we can do outdoors, and I have some tips about what we can do indoors. And earlier when we were speaking, we were talking about candlelight concerts in our homes. Mia has a very large backyard, so she has the ability to like go outside and get the paper lanterns and all those things to have concerts outside in your backyard. And I was suggesting for people who may not have that same type. And I know a lot of us are on Instagram and we're seeing the versus battles on Instagram. And that is happening on Saturday nights. Actually, there's one happening tonight at 8 p.m. with Jagged Edge and 112. So that's another thing that you can do here in your home to just celebrate the summer. Because I know a lot of times in the summertime, we like to go to concerts and go to festivals. So it's kind of off limits for us right now, but we can still enjoy the music. And for those of you who may like dancing or working out, there's suggestions for that as well. Amazon and YouTube has a host of different things where you can learn to do Zumba or yoga or just hip hop dance aerobics. So that's something that we can look into and go on Instagram, not Instagram, go on YouTube, go on Amazon Video, whatever it is that you need to do to find different workout classes that you may enjoy. And you can do, if you're not familiar with yoga, you can be familiarized on those classes that they have on YouTube and Amazon and wherever else you may find free videos about working out.
And yoga is one of those things, of course, that I love doing outside again, just to be at one with nature and trying some new moves by myself so nobody can laugh at me while I'm trying to do a downward dog pose. But I'm starting to love just being outside, and there's something that I do called grounding that kind of balances and centers me, and that's to just stand outside in the grass with my bare feet and just kind of stand there and meditate, listen to the birds chirping, listen to the highway in the background, just kind of just being out there and being still and just being open. So that's a very good point, for doing yoga or just meditating outside or inside, wherever you are.
And I mentioned also your suggestion earlier about, if you have the space in your backyard, doing candlelight concerts, because, this is a time when we do a lot of festivals and concerts and things outdoors. Of course, I mentioned the versus battles that have been going on Saturdays, and the one that's going to be coming on tonight at 8 p.m. with Jagged Edge and 112.
Absolutely. So grab y'all speakers, whether it's a little bitty speaker, a big speaker, it don't matter. Just pull that outside. Have you a glass of wine with some water, of course, or whatever is your cup of tea or whatever your vices are. It doesn't matter. Just go outside, crank up the music. My neighbor, she had some old school playing yesterday and was singing so loud to the top of her lungs. She sounded horrible, but honestly, I wanted to go outside and join her because we can't do anything else. So just go outside, take the speaker, have a good time. Even just take your phone, just crank the music up, dance, whether by yourself, with a dog, whomever, and just really have a good time. I know when the Erykah Badu and Jill Scott Instagram battle, that was just absolutely amazing to me. And I was up dancing and burning incense in my basement the whole night with my wine, with my glass of wine, and just kind of in my zone the whole night. So just take.
Well, on Saturday I was drinking rum and Red Bull. For those of you who get that reference, and it was awesome. It was just amazing.
Were you punning the river too?
Yeah, I had to do a little dirty wine. You know what I mean? Just for GP.
So yeah, it's just about having a good time. So we can't do anything else.
And also, as I mentioned, the classes that you can find on YouTube or Amazon Prime, Amazon Video, whatever, about how to do different sort of exercise regimes, workout regimes.
Yeah,
I also found that the New York City Ballet is offering free workshops. They have a whole schedule put up about what they're offering and when. So, if you're a former ballerina like me, or someone who just thought it would be cool to maybe learn some ballet, you could definitely tune in, sign up for the workshops. And the place to go for that is balletessentials.nycballet.com. So that's balletessentials.nycballet.com. And you can check out whatever workshops, things they have there.
That is probably a lot of fun. I used to take ballet, tap, and jazz when I was younger. And even just doing some of these videos lately, just doing some of the dances kind of got me back in that mindset of taking those ballet, tap, and jazz.
Yeah.
So dancing, period, whatever genre it is so much fun, so much of a stress reliever. One of the girls that I've been looking up that I sent you was Kiera Lachey. And
oh yeah, I fell in love with her videos.
Right. So I think the first one I started doing was like a hip hop Tabatas or something like that. And then I came across the Uncle Luke one. And if you know me and Jennifer, like Uncle Luke kept these coming when they come on, it's a wrap. Her son looks at us like, oh,
oh God.
But when that song comes on, you just can't help but to move. So Kiera Lachey has a whole workout dance routine to it. And it's so much fun. It'll wear you out, but
definitely will wear you out.
So yes, please pull her up because she is one of my favorites now. So look her up, see if y'all can do some of the YouTube dances or just some of the workouts that she has. She's really cool people. I love it.
I mean, because, cardio, get your heart pumping and all that kind of stuff. And, everyone's talking about how much they've been eating since they've been in their house so much. And it's like, okay, you kind of can't help that because a lot of times we eat out of boredom and we're not necessarily eating to like feed ourselves the way we should. Right. So if you're going to be eating, maybe you need to offset that with the little fun cardio. And like, what better way to do it than that?
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. I noticed that kind of right away for me as I was grieving with me just eating like crazy. And that was kind of my mindset. It's like, okay, if I'm going to eat crazy, at least let me balance it out with some cardio. And
right.
That's how I fell in love with Kiera Lachey. Something else that you guys can do outside is if you like to go camping, then your backyard might be a great place to do that. You can set up your tent. Maybe you have more than one, or if all of your family can fit in one tent, just do that. But if you want to have some type of social distancing backyard party, just set up tents and set them 6 feet apart. Have your friends bring their sleeping bags. Maybe y'all can bring some marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers and make s'mores, or just turn it into a summer camping experience. You don't have to worry about bears. The food is just like eat away. You don't have to go fishing, especially if you don't know how to go fishing. It's okay. Just go in the fridge or go in
Right.
the
Right.
bathroom. You don't have to worry about using the leaves to wipe your butt. Just go to the bathroom and handle your business, and boom, just go right back outside. So I think that's perfect. It's a perfect time to try out camping if you've never been camping before.
And you're interested in that. I mean, and say you're interested in camping, but you are not really sure about the outside aspect. Build a fort in your living room with your kids, with your significant other. You know, use some of those tea lights, those electric or battery operated tea lights, and light up the place. Watch rom-coms or dramas or thrillers, whatever. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do so that we're not saying that summer is canceled. Like,
Right.
that's what I want people to get out of all of our suggestions. Summer is not canceled. It's just an opportunity for us to learn different things. If you've never got on Pinterest before, this would be a great time to get on Pinterest. If you're like, well, I'm not a crafty person, why am I getting on Pinterest? There's so many things that you can look on. Maybe you like to cook. There's a million different recipes. I've been on Pinterest pretty much every day looking for new recipes for my Instant Pot or my air fryer. Or sometimes I just am on there looking for beautiful art, like just random art. So I mean, it's kind of like a rabbit hole you can go into to looking for one thing and end up finding something else. And maybe you want to start crafting. Maybe you can find something on Pinterest that's really simple and easy. And once you do that, you can work yourself up to doing more things. Because we've been complaining for so long, adults, that we don't have time to do this, that, and the other. And this basically gives us like time to do new things.
Yeah, and one of the things I actually saw on Pinterest was a tin can bowling game. So you can take your used cans that y'all might have had the sweet peas and the carrots or the mixed vegetables in, or whatever you had your food in. Use those cans, paint them, get some spray paint from Walmart. You got to go pick up some groceries anyway. So just pick up some paint, some different colors to make it fun, and find a small ball, maybe like a tennis ball or something big enough that would serve as the bowling ball as you're knocking over the tin cans, and boom, tin can bowling game. And if you have to spend any money at all. So Pinterest, like you said, is full of ideas that you can do inside and outside the house. I know I've been on there meal prepping and figuring out some ideas for food over here. Even I've started playing a game with the leftover food in the fridge. Like, how many times can I redo?
Repurpose it.
Right. So I cooked chicken breast. So I cooked some chicken breast and I cooked chicken strips. So that way we could eat them for dinner with whatever we had yesterday. We can put them on a salad today. We can do something else with it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Taco Tuesday, so maybe we'll have them in tacos or something. Something to keep from getting bored. You should not get bored with your food on Pinterest. So
That's definitely true. Because they have a million recipes, stuff that maybe you wouldn't have even thought to put together.
exactly.
And I bought an Instant Pot prior to all of this, and I don't eat like beef or pork. So pretty much throughout this whole pandemic, we've been eating chicken, turkey, and fish sometimes. But now it's kind of become like a game, like how many different ways can I cook chicken? Like And I'm on there like, okay, well, Pinterest says this. Okay, let me try this. Let me try that. So it also requires me to get out of my head a little bit because I am kind of particular about what I eat. So this is opening me up to different ways of cooking things and different recipes that I may not have tried before.
Yeah, I've been incorporating things that I normally don't eat, just seeing how I can incorporate them into my diet to get them in. So that's been sometimes cooking can be stress relieving too. So when I find a recipe and I'm kind of in a zone and I get in the kitchen, I'm good to go. So that can be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
I also saw on Pinterest where they have these giant games you can play outside, like dominoes, Jenga, Connect Four. I love Connect Four. I will put Connect Four. Like nobody can top me in Connect Four. So, but they have these giant games that you can play outside. So when it's not raining, you can still play those fun games that you're used to playing inside the house. You can take them outside. Jenga, I'm sure. I think I've played it outside, and it is so much fun.
Yeah. I've played the big version. It's a lot of fun. And also for people who may be interested in podcasts, you know, maybe I have a few that I could suggest, but maybe that's something that you wanted to get into prior to all of this, but didn't really have the time to listen or didn't even know like what you would want to hear. I have a few suggestions. One is actually called The Dating Game Killer. I'm a huge fan of like true crime. So this is interesting for people who may be interested in true crime stories. Basically, it's about a serial killer. Um, and there's also another one called Staying In with Emily and Kamal. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie The Big Sick.
Yeah.
But if you're not, it is on Amazon Prime. You can watch it. And all the proceeds for this one go to charity. And they basically give you more things that help you stay occupied during this new normal that we have going on. So I thought that would be really interesting for people who, may be interested in podcasts and definitely are looking for things to keep them occupied during this time. And then my other two favorite, one is called Meet Cute, because I am a sucker for love. I'm a fan of rom-coms, cheesy as they are. So basically, this is that in a podcast. It's a cheesy rom-com podcast. And then the last one is called Cautionary Tales, which is like fairy tales for adults. And then it has lessons at the end about human behavior. So like Aesop fables grown up.
Yeah, I'll probably check that one out.
You should. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I know we're all just kind of grasping at straws here. Like, what can I do today? Like, what yesterday? And it kind of feels like we're living in a real life version of Groundhog Day. Because like my mom, she asked me the other day, she's like, well, what are we going to do today? And I'm like, the same thing I do every day, try to take over the world. Like, that's my answer. But seriously, in all seriousness, like, we have to do something to keep our minds stimulated. Yeah. And especially as people living with sickle cell, we can't let our situation bring us down. We have to find ways to be more stress free. And a lot of us are so used to not being able to enjoy certain things because it's a trigger for us. And now we have new ways to do it. Like swimming for some people is a trigger, so they don't do it. But okay, we have a new alternative summer. What we can do now is get a little kiddie pool and make the water as warm as we can stand it, and it's still fun for us. So I think this actually gives us a moment to grow and try new things. And we want to eat healthier as people living with sickle cell so that we can take more control of our health. This is a perfect opportunity to do that. So I'm always trying to find the silver lining in what's going on. And like right now, these times that we're living in are foreign to everyone.
Right.
So what can we do? What can we say to people to help uplift them and to help them see that maybe it's not as bad as we initially thought it was?
Right. And times really could be so much worse. Like a lot of us have had to be apart from our family, even though they may be just 15 minutes away. We've had to be apart from our family, but you and I both have found ways to connect with our family on a more regular basis than when we had access to them, and that's the weekly Zoom call. So that's been helpful. But it's finding those, like you said, finding those ways to cope. A lot of people didn't even have outlets. Maybe their outlet was work. Some people didn't or don't have a healthy coping mechanism. So this is the perfect time to figure out what your coping mechanism is or what your outlet is. What's your favorite thing to do? What's your hobby? Find a new hobby.
Right.
You can build a house on YouTube if that's what you want to do. You can build a tree house, fix a car. You can do anything on YouTube, and now you have the time to do it. So it's just a matter of finding that outlet for you, because we can't do anything about the times that we're living in right now. So we definitely can't stress to worry about it. So hang that stress and worry up, and let's just go paint something. Let's just dance, let's go dance.
And all these things that we're mentioning, when you're in pediatric care, they teach you many different types of distraction techniques to deal with being in pain and, trying to get your mind off of it. And like, I haven't been feeling well for the past couple of weeks, but getting ready for this show was a distraction technique for me. It was a coping mechanism for me to deal with the pain. And, putting myself like, okay, you're on a schedule, Jennifer. You're going to go walking every day. So even on the days when I'm not really feeling my best, I'm still going walking. And I've noticed that doing so, even though I'm not feeling my best, helps that blood to keep flowing, because our first instinct is to lay down. First instinct is to like crawl up in the ball. I'm like, no, push yourself, push through it, go past it. So even if I don't take an hour walk today, maybe it's only 15 to 20 minutes, but I've gotten out, I've exercised a little bit, I've gotten some sun in my life. And those things really do matter when, like, of course it's not gonna, if I'm in a level 10 pain, I'm not saying all you gotta do is take a walk and you'll be fine. I'm not naive enough to think that, but just having something else to do besides sitting at home complaining that, oh man, my birthday's in a month, I'm not gonna be able to do anything. I just want to be creative. I just want to find different ways to do.
Right.
And you suggested, the camping with your friends outside. And I was thinking, like, what can I do for her birthday? Like, it's not a whole bunch of people who I hang out with. But I'm like, hey, maybe I can have like a mask on picnic, BYOB, BYOF, bring your own food, bring your own drinks, and just kind of, have it in a space that's big enough to spread out and you can still like be with people. I'm not saying have a party with like 80 people, but like 4 or 5 of my closest friends,
Yeah.
Somewhere that we're spread out. You just have to start thinking outside the box, basically.
Yeah, I thought about having something outside, but my family alone is like 30 people, and we just gonna, I'm gonna just hang that up for this year. Probably do Zoom, but my family alone is like 30 people, and we're breaking all type of social distancing rules if everybody comes over here. So
Right.
that's a negative for me. That's a negative for me. One year something that we did is a luau. That was another one of my ideas for doing something outside. So if you gotta go to the grocery store again, you can just get some fruit, put them on shish kebabs, get some food to put on the grill, fire up the barbecue, and just have a luau. Have your music playing. I don't know about the roasting of the pigs. If that's what you do, go right ahead. That's just gonna add to the whole scenery. Hey, that's what some people do.
Right. That's true.
But just make it a good time. Just have plenty of parties this summer. That's all I can say. Just have a good time.
Yeah.
And we also checked out the Cascade Springs Nature Preserve. So I was a little hesitant how many people would be there or see what it would be like, especially with all this going on. It wasn't that many people. I had my I had my mask on, but when it was just me, my mom, and Devin, I would take it off because I can't breathe in that thing.
Right.
Or if I saw some people come in, I would put it back on. But it was absolutely beautiful. It was quiet out there. You could hear the springs, of course.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Someone told me there's something like that on the east side, but I can't remember what the name of it was. But Cascade Spring Reserves, if you guys want to just get out of the house and go walking as a family, just go walk through nature, that's a good location to go. I like going early in the morning when there is less people, and that's something that you guys should consider as well as people with compromised immune systems. That if you do have to go out to the pharmacy, to the grocery store, wherever, go as early as possible to minimize the amount of people that you're exposed to. In the middle of the day, y'all know how some of these stores be. I'm not gonna even say who, because it's all of them. So just make sure that you go early in the morning to decrease your exposure to people.
So Mia, tell everyone about your gardening, and what's going on with that.
Yes, so my gardener is so animated. Let's take a look at him because he just gives me so much energy when he comes through and helps me with my garden. He's so knowledgeable at what he does as well. So take a look at this very short clip of something he came and did for me recently. Is there anything else I need to know, or we good? We straight for today?
All you need to know is this look. It's about to go down right now. You feel? We got the whole raw herbs in the back. Sprinkle some seeds off in that joint. You know what I mean? Got the rosemary in front, so it can bust up through that like that right there. You know what I mean?
I should have been
all this over there by the fountain and everything.
Okay.
So it's about to blow up out the train in here. You understand? Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir.
Open up.
So yes, you can see the energy from that video alone. He's, like I said, he's so animated and so energetic. He's very knowledgeable about what he's doing. And when he gets in that little area where the garden is, it just looks like he's having a good time. He like a big kid. You know how the big kids how the little kids go to Chuck E. Cheese and get in the ball pit.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like when he's just in the garden doing his thing. And last year we had, oh my God, we had mustard greens, we had turnip greens, we had kale, we had about 6 different herbs, and just cooking with fresh herbs and fresh food. It tastes so much better.
It makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference.
It absolutely makes a difference. It just tastes so much better. Sometimes I think it's because I'm the one cooking it, and it just be in my head. But the fresh herbs, now that's not in my head. That's the fresh herbs. That's the fresh basil and the rosemary. But I found a lot of relief and a lot of joy in just watching things grow. Now we have the sunflowers coming up that's doing really well. We got beets coming up. It's so much more stuff that we have coming up this year. And it's just exciting. I saw Kelly Rowland recently said that she enjoys gardening while naked. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I'm pretty sure it's a very liberating experience.
Well, you combine that with the grounding and the yoga, I may not be able to reach you no more. You're gonna be floating in the air someplace in the ethers.
Super high with no drugs. That's the high we need.
Right.
That's the high that we need.
So, of course, gardening is another thing that you can do, especially if you have a brown thumb like me. This would be like a great time to put your all into it and really have the time to, love on your plants and things like that. So we definitely wanted to talk about the things that you can do indoors and outdoors during this alternative summer. That's what we're going to call it, because I don't know about you, but my summer is not canceled. And right. So we just wanted to make sure we did that today, just have a talk about all those things. And of course, we can never, ever get out of here without thanking our sponsors for just supporting us and giving us like everything that they have given us. So we always want to give them time before we leave to thank them.
Right. So first, let's thank Mr. Moore and the Apex Museum. We need to see if the city is open up so you guys can check out the Apex Museum. Mr. Moore is an absolute treasure right here in downtown Atlanta. You guys need to check out, learn some of your history. Juneteenth is coming up. Go and check it out and learn some of your history. I also want to thank Miss Tanya Robinson with Kid Shop Daycare and Learning Center and the Black Professionals Network. Also, please follow us at Status Network, Manifest TV, and SCA 365 at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
I think you got it.
And YouTube. Don't forget us on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, because we're going to have some new things coming out, especially with World Sickle Cell Day being next month. We're probably going to try to get something together. We want you guys to be following us so that you don't miss any announcements that we may have to make.
Agreed. So thank you guys. We will check you in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned.
And we really appreciate you guys tuning in. I think we had a few little technical difficulties earlier. So thank you guys for still being here and watching us and supporting us. So although we thank our sponsors.
really. Bye, y'all.
Good night, everyone.